On April 15, 2022, at Long Beach Harbor's container terminal, two seemingly unremarkable pallets labeled used furniture slid down the conveyor belt. Each was stuffed with 750 kilograms of immaculate white powder, 1.5 tons of pure Colombian cocaine, with a street value of $118 million. Unbeknownst to the cartel bosses waiting at the other end, those bricks had already been intercepted in Mexico, swapped with flawless decoys by undercover agents. When the furniture arrived at a real estate removals truck, surveillance cameras captured the moment. Behind the wheel sat 29-year-old Jason Collins, son of California's deputy police commissioner, who had spent the last 2 years building the West Coast's most sophisticated drug smuggling network under the benign guise of a luxury moving service. Before I walk you through the full story, I just have a small favor to ask. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments. What city are you watching from? It's always amazing to see how far this audience is reaching. Jason's descent into the criminal underworld began in early 2020. A gifted cricketer at a prestigious prep school, he'd sustained a career-ending shoulder injury and returned home to help his father, Richard Collins, run the family's custom sign-making business. When COVID-19 lockdowns shuttered restaurants and hotels, real estate removal's biggest clients, their revenue plummeted by 80%. In the grip of pandemic anxiety, Jason watched his father fall ill with COVID, drain their savings to cover medical bills, and ultimately borrowed $150,000 against their suburban home to launch a white-glove moving company promising bespoke service for affluent clients. At first, business boomed. By midsummer 2020, 3 white vans carried mahogany armoires and Persian rugs across Southern California. By spring 2021, the fleet had grown to 8 trucks, and real estate removals had opened a sleek San Francisco office. But margins thinned as competition increased. Chased by mounting loan payments and watching the family home teeter on the brink of foreclosure, Jason found relief in Tramadol, an opioid painkiller he obtained without prescription. What began as a few pills for chronic back pain spiraled into a 20-tablet-a-day habit, leaving his judgment foggy and desperation burning behind his eyes. It was during one of these hazy nights that 2 impeccably dressed strangers entered Jason's warehouse, masquerading as art dealers in need of a midnight shipment. They offered $50,000 to haul 3 ornate crates across state lines. Seeing only profit, Jason added hidden steel compartments to his vans, but asked no questions. Soon, dozens of runs followed, each carrying hundreds of kilograms of cocaine. He upgraded his infrastructure with corporate precision. Veteran mechanic Luis Mendoza welded hydraulic false floor panels. Logistics planner Michael Jenkins charted routes across I-5, I-10, and I-15. Border crossing expert Connor Fletcher forged antique shipment paperwork, and money launderer Humayun Sadiq funneled payments through shell corporations in Nevada and Panama. By early 2022, narcotics accounted for 80% of the company's $2 million annual revenue. Legitimate moving fees became a side hustle. Jason rented a beachfront condo in Santa Monica, leased a black Mercedes-Benz, and splurged on high-end watches. All the while, he maintained a reassuring facade, delivering couches to CEOs by day and orchestrating multi-million-dollar drug transfers by night. Yet every empire has a weak link. In January 2022, U.S. Border Patrol agents in San Diego intercepted 63 kilograms of cocaine and 100 kilograms of ketamine concealed under a leather couch. Though they quietly traced the load back to real estate removals, they hesitated to act until the big catch. That prize came in April, when federal operatives in Mexico and California conspired to bait Jason with the decoy shipment. Cameras watched as his driver accepted the pallets. GPS trackers followed the truck to a discreet warehouse in Carson, where unloaded bricks were bagged for distribution. In June, law enforcement moved in. Fletcher was arrested at the Otay Mesa crossing, his burner phones revealing encrypted chats, pickup coordinates, and photographic proof of secret compartments. Jenkins and Mendoza were detained during a routine safety inspection, their route logs and maintenance invoices betraying the network's scale. Sadiq was cornered at a luxury hotel near the port of Long Beach, cash-filled suitcases in tow and shell company ledgers on his laptop. Finally, on June 30th, FBI agents and DEA officers executed simultaneous raids on real estate removals warehouses in Carson and San Francisco, seizing 8 trucks outfitted with welded-in subfloors and hidden ventilation ducts. The trial opened in February 2023 in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. Prosecutors portrayed Jason Collins as a modern-day kingpin who weaponized family business infrastructure for cartel trafficking. Emotional testimony from his father, tears staining his badge as he described losing both his son and his savings, contrasted with intercepted phone recordings in which Jason coldly negotiated loads and berated subordinates over minor delays. Despite defense pleas citing tramadol addiction, the stress of pandemic collapse, and his unanticipated descent, Judge Maria Rodriguez deemed the operation methodical, intentional, and devoid of remorse. Sentencing on May 19, 2023, reflected the enterprise's staggering scope. Jason received 23.5 years in federal prison, Jenkins 15 years, Fletcher 12 years, Mendoza 10 years, and Sadiq 27 years. Every vehicle was impounded, Real Estate Removals LLC dissolved, and the family home forfeited. The government seized over $30 million in assets, including bank accounts, properties, and luxury goods. In the aftermath, law enforcement agencies across the country reevaluated their partnerships with small transportation and logistics firms. Training modules now warn against the complaint to cartel pipeline. When legitimate businesses collapse under financial strain, employees and owners may be prime targets for criminal recruiters. Richard Collins, once a decorated public servant, faces professional disgrace and bankruptcy. His name, once synonymous with civic duty, is now indelibly linked to one of the largest domestic drug smuggling conspiracies in U.S. history. As for the cartel contacts who engineered the scheme, some remain at large, shadows slipping through other transport networks, recruiting new insiders at seaports and airports. But their operation leaves a legacy of caution. In the underworld's calculus, desperation can be more valuable than loyalty, and a handshake deal can mask the deadliest cargo of all. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one.